the blueprint. Sipping rage and youthful exuberance. Everybody loves to root for a nuisance. Hit the earth like an asteroid, needing nothing but you.
Like the line I come to you fraudulent. Inject that collagen from your heart to your car.
Pull up, diamond Billy shining with the bangles out.
Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachak Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations until the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, we know that our people, according to the curse, that we would be dispersed among all people, all nations, all different lands, from one end of the earth even to the other. And we also have a history of intermingling and giving in marriage to the people of these other nations. And we produce children, and our children comes out looking like the other nations. This is why you have to be very discerning. You have to have, a spiritual mindset, because you cannot judge people by the outer shell. Now, what kind of sparked me to want to do this video? Well, you have the topic of, Revelation 7, verse 9, where you have John, a revelator, in his vision, you have a mass multitude that couldn't be measured nor numbered. And they were coming, these people were coming from all different walks. They were from, different various, land masses. They spoke the languages of those land masses, like just to get an idea. You can read Acts, the 2nd chapter, during the Feast of Weeks, or the Feast of Pentecost. You had all these Jews coming from all these different lands, and they were all speaking different languages. So when John saw, all these Israelites from all over the world that just came out of, Jacob's trouble, they all were not just from Babylon. They were coming from all over the world. All right. Now, real quick, let me just go there real quick. Revelation 7 and 9, it says, "After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb." All right. Now they're saying salvation to our God. Now we know that the gods of the other nations are idols. These would have to be Israelites coming from all these different land masses from all over the world, all these different regions. All right. In places you would have never known, because the Lord, he really did scatter us. All right. Now you take some sand during in a windy day, and you just let it fall, through your fingers, and watch the wind blow every grain in all directions. But that's literally what that's how our people got scattered through these different various captivities. You could read that in was that Zechariah, the 1st chapter. All right, how through those 4 different captivities that we went up under, we got scattered. Zechariah 1 and Yeah, Zechariah 1 and verse 18, it says, lifted I up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And the Lord shewed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he said, saying, these are the horns, all right, meaning the world powers, all right, that had their dominions. You know, Daniel saw, you know, the 4 beasts. All right. He also saw them in the form of a statue. It says, which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. So, you know, you have a dispersion of Judites all over the world, all over the known world, and even over here on the west, in the Western hemisphere. All right. Let me get real quick. Let's go to Ezekiel 20 real quick. It is Ezekiel 20 and 22. It says, nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, that I should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose salt I brought them forth. I lifted up my hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the heathen and disperse them through the countries. All right. Because they had not executed my judgments, but had despised my statutes, and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols. So that was the penalty. That was the punishment, because we did not obey his covenant to keep those law, statutes, and judgments. All right. So the Lord scattered us. He dispersed us through the countries. So we're in literally every country. All right. And of course, in those countries, you start to develop, you know, a practice. You know, you take on the culture of that land, the language of the people of that land. You discontinue from your heritage. You become like a whole nother nation. Okay. So I'm making a point, and I'm saying all that to say, we're gonna be coming from out of all different nations. So you're gonna have Israelites who don't look like your typical Negro. And I don't know how many times we gotta, you know, explain that. But also you got Christians who think, you know, they'll quote a scripture like Revelation 7 and 9 and think that it's talking about all nations. No, it's talking about Israelites among all nations. All right. And even let me go back to Revelation 7. Now, when you go, it's like, yeah, when you go to the word for kindreds, the word is phule. And it says a tribe in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, a nation, people. And you type in tribe in the Old Testament, because we were always identified by tribes, by our respective tribe. All right. Let me see. Let me type in tribes. Now we look up the word tribes, and the word is Shabbat. And it says down here, it says rod, staff, branch, offshoot, club, scepter, tribe, rod, staff. All right. Clan, tribe. All right. and the 12 tribes were scattered. That's why James said to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, greeting. Okay. So anyway, I looked up this female artist, Halsey, right? And, you look at her, just based on, her image, or you see a couple music videos with her, she looked like your typical, so-called white woman, but, with a tan. All right. She got, she not as pale, but, most people would judge her from the inside and would just write her off as a typical so-called white woman. Right. But look closer. You could clearly see that, this is something a little different. All right. She does not have all the melanin of the typical Negro woman, but you can clearly, you can just look at her and be like, man, nah, that ain't no just regular, so-called white woman. But when you actually look up her background, her mother is a so-called white woman, but her father is a straight up Jake. All right. Matter of fact, let me type this up. It says, singer Halsey is biracial. Here is a glimpse at her rarely seen black father. All right. And it says, 26-year-old singer Halsey is biracial, although it might be hard to tell as her biological father is black and Irish. Have a glimpse of her rarely seen father and Halsey's reality as a mixed person, which there ain't no such thing as being mixed. We already did various lessons explaining that, you are what your father is. Okay. How the priest was able to determine, if they were of the house of Aaron, they had to go through the records of their genealogy through the line of their fathers, because your father determines if you're an Israelite. So she's what her father is, even though she may not even look. I mean, she probably looked like her father. A lot of, from what I noticed, a lot of women, females, they look like their fathers, and the sons be, taken after the mothers. Now but at times, you can also see, he looked like his daddy, but her complexion and, her Edomite appearance more than likely comes from her mother. Okay. It says several times singer Halsey had to explain being biracial to the public. This is because she is the daughter of a white mother and a father who is black and Irish, which we know that, the real Irish, they're so-called black. All right. A lot of Benjamin in Ireland. It says in September, the singer celebrated her father's birthday with a sweet tribute that read, "It's my dad's birthday today. Sorry I picked these pictures. Goofy. They just always make me smile. I love you," whatever. Okay. And I'm wondering if they're going to actually show the picture. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, that was just pictures of herself. I'm trying to get them. Okay, here we go. So here it is. It says they also acknowledged her printer jokes, seeing as her father looked much darker than everyone else in the photos, and pointed out Halsey's much lighter skin tone in all the images. That birthday post was not the first time Halsey's father and his race has come up. In June, when she dedicated a Father's Day post to him with photos from her childhood, many of her followers were surprised to find out that she truly is biracial. These accusations of Halsey having white privilege also came into light this year during the heated protest against racism. And you can see that's her pops right there. Clearly a Jake. Clearly. All right. And this is why we can't, you can't look at a person, just based on their outer appearance and just automatically write them off. All right. Because you never know. That's why you gotta, use discernment. And we know the scriptures say to try the spirit by the spirit, whether they be of the Most High. It also says, was that Romans 8 and 16? All right. Let me get it. Romans 8 and 16, and it says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right. It says, years ago in 2014, Halsey publicly explained once again about her being biracial. She took to Twitter to tell fans that her father is black and a little Irish while her mom is Italian and Hungarian. About 3 years ago, the singer-songwriter opened up to Vulture about growing up as a mixed woman who looks white. Looking back at her childhood, she narrated how people would see her with her father and assume that Sunshine was wrong. Maybe people won't accept that I'm half black, but they could not be accepting me because I am, and that's much worse. And she ain't have nothing. She a Jake. But she just took on the appearance of her mother. But I can actually see some of the resemblance to her father. Now that we can see who he is. All right. So you're the seed of your father, man. And the seed of Israel will be, all right, mingled and scattered amongst these nations, man. And this is a prime example. This is why the angels will have to, when that day comes, they're going to have to sort out, all right, who's who. Let's go to, was that Matthew 13? This is Matthew 13 and yeah, here we go. This is Matthew 13 and 36. It says, then Yahushua sent the multitude, and this is when he expounded, on his parables that he spoke to the multitude. He came to his disciples and made it plain. All right. It says, then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declaring to us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one, the devil. All right, the enemy that sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. So the angels are going to be doing the separation. So, if we have any tares among us perpetrating as Israelites, they're going to be separated. All right, but then you got, Israelites who don't look like your typical Israelite, who gets, they get the shrug, they get the cold shoulder. They get looked at funny. Well, the time is going to tell, and the Lord's going to, to these dudes dismay, when they see you get changed. All right, you looking nearby and you see a so-called Oriental looking person or an Edomite looking person. But then when the Lord shows up, you see that same person change into a Israelite, look like a Israelite, and then get beamed up. And that's why you're going to have, multitudes from all over, man. The angels are going to be the ones that's going to do the reaping. It also tells us that in Matthew the 24th chapter that the angels are gonna gather the elect from the four winds, the four corners of the earth. So we're gonna be from all over. You think we all gonna look like one type of people? Nah, man, we're variegated. All right. Our heritage is as a speckled bird. But everybody's going to be changed. If you're of the elect, of course, is going to be changed into as they're going to be changed in a twinkling of an eye. Within the blink of an eye, they're going to be changed. Okay. So, this is just an example I want to use. You see, that's why we can't judge according to the outward appearance. You see, and a lot of dudes that are carnal, they'll see a woman like this and they'll, denounce her pretty quickly. You can't be carnal minded, man. But also, dealing with the topic of Revelation 7 and 9. So you're going to have Israelites that don't look like your typical Israelite. And that's what he saw. And there was multitudes of them. All right. And then you got terrorists because you're going to have a lot of Israelites, well, people that look like Israelites that really aren't Israelites. And they're not going to get beamed up. They're going to be left down here to get smoked. And then the ones that's not in Babylon, they're going to go right into the captivity. It is what it is. But, this is just another example, man. The brothers do is this a Jake or is this a wheat or a tear video? So this is kind of like that, but also to add to the point of dealing with, you're going to have people from out of every kindred, tongue, and nation. In this case, Jake laid with an Edomite who was from Hungarian and something. That's not to say that there ain't no Jakes out there either, but it's mainly comprised of a bunch of Edomites. All right. Or it says that she's a Hungarian and Italian. So who knows if her father is Italian? If he's Sicilian, it could be a chance he could even be a Jake. So that would mean that even her mother could possibly be a Jake, but we just wouldn't know. All right. But anyway, I just want to go into that. And Lord willing, this was edifying. Let me give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.